I'm Molly.
Welcome to Friends at Gameology, hosted by MoonlightCrew.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less.
DC deck building game Forever Evil expansion, but
And
it's also a
base
standalone.
set, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of them are standalone. So standalone, what the difference is you are playing as the villains and fighting the superheroes. So that thematically is what is different. The mechanics that are different, they add in VP chips. So some cards, when you play them or do certain things, give you VP. These are count just like the bottom of every card that you normally get VP for. They just are extra. This little frozen one card lets you freeze a card. And then the biggest difference to me in this game is that this is a lot of destroying cards. So it's your base DC, 5 cards come out, your basic deck building mechanic that DC puts out, but a lot of these cards destroy. And so most everyone is going to be able to thin out their deck of what they don't want in there. Unlike other DCs where you have very few destruction cards and they're coveted destruction cards, whereas these are not that way because there are so many and they're plentiful. Other than that, it plays the same as your DC deck building games. So let's just jump right in. Simplicity versus complexity.
Pretty simple. It's if you play the other DC deck building games or other Cerberus engine games, you're going to be able to pick this up very easily. There is not that much more complexity when you add the VP chips.
Yeah.
There are a couple of cards that allow you to freeze cards, like the cold gun, so you can put these onto cards in the lineup and they can't be purchased or gained. They can still be destroyed though. And other than that, really, you're going to be ready to go opening it up and playing.
Yeah, I would say this game is pretty simple. There are, of course, there are the cards that do different things. I think that if it's just destroyed in any zone, you get a benefit because there's so much destruction. But that doesn't add complexity. It just adds a little tweak to what you already know how to do. You already know how to destroy a card in this game. So it does not add very much complexity. So I think it's a pretty simple, beginner-friendly game. Yeah, luck versus strategy.
I think this is one of the more strategic sets of DC Deck Builder. What do you think is in common with that all of these cards have in common? It is that they all destroy a card. And most of these cards are duplicated in this deck. Some of these are unique, but most of them are duplicated. Look at this amount of cards. These are all different cards I'm holding. They all destroy something. There's no way that you won't pick up one of them.
Yeah.
Like, if your opponent tried to get all of them, they would just have a deck that made no power, but was very lean. And so, because of that, you can get rid of a bunch of your bad cards and then have a core good deck. And that just makes for a lot of very strategic play. What do you decide to pick up? What do you decide to destroy? A lot of these cards will allow you to manipulate the destroyed pile. Or for every superpower in there, it gets a +1 power for the destroyed pile. There's so much going on here with destruction, which makes so much sense being that this is the villainous deck, that I think it gets very strategic.
I agree with Tom. I think the strategy gets even deeper when you talk about picking up cards in order to destroy them, right? And so, because you have a card that gives you a bonus for if you destroy a hero, you get 2 extra power, or you get 2 VP. So you're like, okay, well, this hero is not the best, but I'm going to pick it up because my deck's so small. I'm going to get it with that destroy card so I can destroy it and get that extra bonus. And so I think this is one of the more strategic ones. I agree with Tom for that reason. You can all get exactly what you want in your hand almost every time because you have a very small deck. Every other turn you're shuffling, and so and with VPs counting on this, destroy a card, get the VP. It's no longer in your deck. You just have the VP, and so that's pretty powerful. Fun versus boring. I think this game is super fun. It might be one of my favorites of the DCs. We do love the DC deck building games, and so it's one of my favorites because there's just so much you can do to benefit yourself, to mitigate the luck that is in any deck building game. And so I think that this is very fun. It's a super fun game. Yeah.
I really enjoy this game. I find it to be very fun. And like Molly said that it may be one of her favorites, I think this might be my favorite. It's a toss-up because I really like them all. But this is so nice, being able to get rid of all of your bad cards. On top of that, these villain powers are just really funny and weird. Like, some of them allow you to destroy cards innately. Some of them allow you to do things when people pass cards, and there are a lot more passing cards in this game. I find it to be very enjoyable, and it just builds upon the enjoyment I've had in the previous sets. There's one nitpick I'd like to add. The very first hero you go up against is the Flash. Please, you couldn't beat the Flash. The Flash could beat you. This guy should be the very end, and it should just be like you lose. Because it's impossible to defeat the Flash. I wish I was wearing
What
my
if I
Flash
was
t-shirt
Vibe?
right now. Unless you were Vibe. My point being, Flash is too good. And there's just a lot of really cool cards in here. I really do enjoy like just the flavor of it, the theme of it. A lot of times DC gets knocked for theme, but I think it is thematic per card, and
Yes.
and that's so cool. Anyway,
Bizarros gives you weaknesses.
yeah,
I mean, it's very thematic. Each card is very thematic, yeah.
I would definitely give this a 10 out of 10 on the Board Game Geek rating scale.
As would I. I'd give it 10 out of 10.
Always want to play, never turn it down, and I'd suggest it.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh wait, what's that? Is that the Flash?
You scared me. I didn't know what was happening. Every time we get to multiples of 500 subscribers on YouTube, we give away a free glitter painting of your favorite superhero icon. Can you guess Tom's? So make sure to subscribe now on YouTube.
It could be you that wins.
DC deck building game Forever Evil. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.